Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Athenaeum Session 8 vlog.
Back!
Back!
We are finally back, yes, and we have a new cast member and character.
Yeah, finally back.
We're all back together again. It feels so good, and we have Adam with us.
Yeah, we've been for the viewers. They don't necessarily know, but it's been a few months since we last met, mostly because of a lot of life things. Myself, I've had my second child, so that's a huge thing that's been keeping me busy. A lot of things, as you heard, are going on with Adam's life, and I mean, in general, like it's the holidays, so there's a lot of things going on. So we had a little bit of a nice break, but it's good to be back because I think we are about a third of the way through the campaign. We're about a third done, so we have 2/3 left, which is a great time to bring in the sixth Power Ranger. So Adam, how do you feel after you've played your first full session with us?
I feel like this character is going to get in trouble.
Yeah, I think all the characters have gotten themselves in trouble in many ways.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I had a great time, and I'm super excited to see what happens next. But also, apparently, somebody became a ghost while I wasn't watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
a lot of things happened, yeah.
Somebody else lost their fear of death.
Mm-hmm.
From what I had seen, that was like a marked point in that character.
Yeah, crippling.
And well, Star is pretty much the same from what I can see.
Yeah. Even
Sam
Black Powder
is,
had some changes too.
Sam is real dishonest. And yet
I wouldn't say dishonest, just
No,
untrustworthy.
he's dishonest.
By omission, omit.
not dishonest, anti-trustworthy.
It's an anti-trustworthy. Okay.
I thought though that it was the way that it played out today. It seemed like the decision of saving Adam to come in later was the good one, was the right one, because I do feel like it was so much easier to incorporate him into the story and focus more on him instead of splitting it 6 ways, like at the very beginning.
That would have been tricky.
Would have been very tricky, especially for a character like his who's just such a wild card. You kind of need the other 5 to be well established with each other and not have to be like, okay, so what's your story? Okay, what's your deal? It's easier for you all to have your relationship formed before we introduce someone so random like this.
Yeah, not only that, but the session right before this one was so heavy and dark. It feels really good to bring someone just so bright as Lonigan.
Yes.
We needed
very
to
good
that.
timing. Very good timing.
Yeah, I thought the idea to incorporate the kind of take a step back and do the video game playthrough was brilliant.
That was so fun.
I think that was brilliant decision to do that. So that it didn't feel so random, like, who is this person? You kind of have already a connection to it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, WTF, what just happened here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally what happens is I do an origin story, right? And with the origin stories, because they're done in like different acts or different parts, I'm jumping around from one character to another. So it's not like I'm focused on one player the whole time for like an hour. And I did not want it to just be only Adam is the only person that I'm engaging with for that entire hour, but I still wanted to be about Lonix still and focused on Lonix. So I thought pulling you all in that way and participating and it's almost like, whose line is it? Okay, give me a weapon, give me a stage.
It was fun.
No,
was
that was
fun.
good.
And and honestly, I took a lot of what Sam had prepared during the interview with Adam, because I liked how he kept asking Adam, oh, what do you think of this and what do you think of that? I thought that was very brilliant for some audience participation. So
killed it in that interview.
he did, so much so that I want to say that what happened in the interview with Adam, I want to say is canon as one of Lonnic's like previous games, because there's multiple Lonnic games, I guess I would say, in this universe at least. And so maybe that was a previous kidnapping of Princess Tangerine that actually happened. Whether or not Lonnic remembers that incarnation of himself, I'll leave it up to Adam. But I'd like to think it's in somewhat canon in the universe.
I still can't wait for Star to meet Tangerine.
Right.
Oh yes, that's gonna be wonderful.
Parallels. The parallels are uncanny.
Right? I love Sue's line of, is this art from life or life from art? And I was just like, oh my God, yes, it's all true.
I was really caught off by the werewolf exploding into gore.
Yeah.
Right?
I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. If it was meant to shock you, because
It was very
there's
shocking.
probably something to that. There's probably something to that.
I gotta ask, can you tell us the reason why Todd's eggplant, or is that going to be revealed?
It is okay. It is related to Sue's curse, and but it has, again, Sue's curse has nothing to do with the euphemism for an eggplant. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But it has to do with how Stu's condition ended up being a condition for her. But you'll have to find that out. Sue's backstory is sort of something you kind of have to earn. I've been kind of hinting that she wants to tell you, but she's not ready yet. So it's definitely something I want to do, like, sooner rather than later, but it just hasn't felt like the opportunity is there. She's been giving you a lot of hints, and the cursed toilet is one of them.
It's just going to lead to so many jokes, though.
Yeah.
It is.
That's what I was saying, is that
Sorry.
if you select the egg,
Hey,
the jokes will write themselves. Like, you don't have to try.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, it needed to be a specific vegetable, and when you find out what it is, it has nothing to do with that. But I was like, there probably were other things I could use for, like, fruits or vegetables I use, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with Sue's story. So
The two things that came to mind with me for the eggplant were, one, the eggplant wizard from the Ice Climbers games.
yeah, the eggplant.
Or not the ice. That was Kid Icarus, I
Yeah.
believe, was the eggplant
okay.
wizard.
Mhm.
And also, it could have been a reference to Eggman being
An
Dr.
eggplant.
Robotnik's other
Yeah.
name.
Mhm.
Those were my thoughts, but clearly there's something more to it than that.
Yeah.
I really-
many eggplant jokes.
Right? I love
Sorry, such an
Tori
immature
going
sense of
south.
humor.
Right?
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I love that you went south and you, like, slid the glass. Like, I thought that was genius. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I was like, how do I tell Black Powder what I'm about to do? Yeah.
I want you specifically to use your abilities, use your ghost abilities, because it's really cool. Like, yeah,
It
you
is.
died, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be fun to play your character. Because
Right.
you've got a lot of cool things that you can do that nobody else can do.
Yes, I can't wait to buy some more abilities that you have in store.
No,
And just
The
mess with people.
invisibility one would be really
Yeah.
handy right now, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
I told Emily a little bit
Improvise.
about like the thing I kind of want to talk about out of character.
Yes.
But Tori could basically go Christmas Carol on people and go into their dreams and mess
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
So yes.
Tori's a total troll, and I'm like, I can see her using that to the group's advantage, and I want her to use that to the group's advantage. So
Because Scrooge loves Christmas.
Yeah, if we know where Joey sleeps, we could.
Right?
Mhm.
I did
That's
think it was
true.
really
Mhm.
I did think it was really interesting just because you guys were coming right off of Tori's world. So you're all like, we have this new fresh perspective on death. And then Lonix shows up and he's like, I've died 1,000,000 times. So what?
Yeah.
I did not anticipate that you would use the magical googly eyes on the on the night,
was
but I'm glad you did because I was like, oh, I could do so much with this. That's so cool.
I was like, I feel like he's not going to tell everything because I would give away the whole plot first.
But
Spoilers.
It was still smart.
Yeah, it was very critical though because I was not, as I said, I was not anticipating that you would get a tip that this murder was happening at the farm. I was having Sam find that out later after the fact, but the fact that he got it while it was happening, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect.
You're gonna have such a fun time just putting those googly eyes on things.
On random things, yeah.
Like,
I think it's probably one of our most handy items that we've
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, by the time you are done with the speakeasy, it'll technically be the next day, technically.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to put this googly eyes on something else, I'm curious where you might want to put the googly eyes on next if you're going to swap them off of the night.
One day that you gotta take that horse to go see the murder unicorns.
Yes, when you said that, I was like, oh my god, yes.
That would be such a fun interaction.
It was such a clutch move that all of us are looking at it like, ooh, what else can we put these things on?
Yes.
One thing about that horse I did like though was his insight on the people. As he's going around the group.
Yeah.
When he looked at black powder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for some discussions to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to introduce any meta, but I was prepared for you to put the googly eyes on the second night because the second night has a totally different perspective and a totally different personality.
I was a little surprised that Sam didn't do that. So I'm curious as to why.
You can ask me after the fact. Yeah, you can ask me after the fact what would have happened later. Once we're done with Sam's World, what would have happened if you put the Google Eyes on the different night? Because you would have got a totally different thing.
If we do another journal session, we'll probably ask for the horse's journal.
Yes. The horse's journal.
You know what? You know what the horse immediately made me think of? Pyrus from Ascension.
I can see that. Oh, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Did that thought cross your mind at all, Joe, to like put the googly eyes on the other chess piece?
100%, but I knew we could only use them once a day.
Right.
And so my thought was, if the cops get that one, that may allow some more information to come to light for us.
That's true.
And we can have Tori, who is non-corporeal, get that chess piece back.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
You can bust in and go and pinch it.
Dude, that's true.
Now our secret.
Tori is OP as hell.
Yes, she is, and I love it.
You're really.
I'm living for it.
That's my plan. So, yes, we definitely will get to try the googly eyes on the second horse once we get that chess piece, because we do need to get that chess piece.
Yeah.
Right. And then go for it, Hart.
I was gonna say, you heard it here, folks. If you want to be OP in an Angel Arts campaign, die.
You just have to die.
Because this was. I apologize. I'm going to put a spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen the Harry Potter campaign. The things that I was giving Tori was what I wanted to give Brandon. I wanted to give Brandon these abilities because I thought Brandon would have so much fun and get a kick out of being a ghostly Levi. But it's okay. Brandon said he just wanted to roll a different character. So I was very happy. I didn't plan for this to happen, but when it did happen, I was like, oh, this is an opportunity for me to pull something from 2 campaigns ago that I wanted to do and give it to Emily. And hopefully Emily is having fun. It seems like she is.
Oh, yeah. And it's right up Tori's alley. Yeah, she's right now, she's really loving the fact that she's a ghost right now.
We learned that Lonic and Tori, at least in these current states, are oil and water. They don't mix.
They don't touch.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Tori is still kind of mad at Sue.
Yeah.
I do too.
I don't know how deep the anger is for real. But
they've always kind of clashed.
They've always had rivals because they were fighting over Felix and they were fighting over. They're always clashing.
I still love it.
I love that too.
Thought it was good.
We'll see where it goes.
Right? Oh my goodness. So now I'm curious. I have a theory about the detective. I have a theory about him. okay, Sue Sue was like, oh, he seemed to know a lot about the shoe size, and I was like, okay, I see you, Sue. She put on her little sleuth hat. I'm scared of her. So I would say my theory is if he is not the villain, he may be more deeply tied than we think. So
yeah, I have a theory about the thing too. I don't think the rattlesnake's to blame. I think it's a competitor trying to basically what's it called? Frame the rattlesnake.
That would make
Because
sense.
there's like, if it's like an old competitor from the chess club or something, because the chess pieces and the chess club and then the horses. And if Joey just keeps beating this guy, maybe he's trying to get back at him.
Good point.
It's got to be somebody that goes way back, right?
Yeah.
That knows
Honestly,
all about
I kind of suspect Stanley.
Stanley, Stanley.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've learned a few things from Joey's past.
Yeah.
So there's Stanley, definitely. I mean, there's Roland McDonald. So, but I mean, he's a victim, supposedly a victim.
Right.
And then Belinda and Joey are
Belinda and Joey.
Yeah.
okay.
Or a
Yeah.
thing.
Commissioner's ex-wife.
Yeah. There's a lot of suspects. There's a lot of people. And I've dropped a lot of clues so far. Like, a lot of clues about at least who has been participating in the murders. So, waiting to drop more clues as the mystery unfolds itself more.
I know. I can't wait.
There were a number of cool clues that I was trying to give to Tori, but she just wasn't rolling very well. I was like, I could have given her that.
I was like
We'll
trying to
see.
scare him out of the room so I could like get a closer look at things. But
So when Tori was messing
easy
with
to
the
scare.
logs in the fireplace, I'm curious, in ghost form, can she still make fire?
not yet.
Not yet. She has to buy that ability back.
Because if she could have started a fire in the fireplace and then just started moving his money over towards it.
Tori does still have a chance to scare him off because I switched scenes before that scene can definitely continue with her trying to scare him
Okay,
off, if that's
cool.
your goal.
I wanted
so
it
we
to,
can so we can try that next time. Just remind me of that. So
Sure.
yep.
Also, everyone monologuing or their internal monologue being said out loud. Oh, that was genius! I just had to jump on that. I thought that was hilarious.
I wanted to do one, but I couldn't think of anything. So I'll try and do it next time.
Me too.
What I would love if everyone's up for it, because Joe has been doing all the monologues up this point, I thought it'd be really funny if each of you did your own small, tiny, brief monologue. Like, by tiny, I mean like 4 sentences, and I would put you all side by side, one after each other. Put your
Is that going
monologues
to be
right
our
after each
character
other.
question for next week? The each your own monologue.
Actually, that might be the warm-up. That might be the warm-up is to come up with your own monologue. So I guess it doesn't have to be short. Come up with your own monologue, say your monologue, and then when I edit everything in post, I'll just present it with your own like music in the background.
I love it.
Oh,
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. And one other thing I thought was hilarious. Going back to the reporter, it's interesting to see how, like I said, I like how Sam put the reporter with Lonick. But the thing is, though, the reporter can clearly tell Lonick is not a person, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's no reason for him to think that he's anything but a human.
Okay.
So I think that right now, like, he does legitimately think it's a costume for a coffee ad of some sort.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking about that. I was like, is he picking up that Lonick ain't a person? But okay.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I wonder if it might be one of those things where it's like it's clear he's not a person, but nobody wants to believe that.
Right, nobody
he's not
wants
a
to
person.
believe
Too
that.
ridiculous to
It's
even.
too weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
no one
Right.
will believe
I'm not
the
insane.
reporter
I'm
if
not
he were.
insane moments.
Yeah. No one will
He would
believe
think
him.
Right.
he's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
I will say
his
though, like
integrity would get called into question pretty
Right.
far.
exactly.
I really want more people to see Tori in the speakeasy because there's like even back then then there was the whole thing about haunted speakeasies.
Yes,
Like,
Yes,
that's what I was thinking too.
We can make that happen.
speakeasies.
Like,
You can.
Tori,
yeah.
you're the best one to be scoping out places like that. You don't need to scope
I can't
through
wait.
walls. You don't need a password.
No. Tori's like, I'm VIP.
No locks,
Walk in.
no passwords, none of that.
Right? Oh my God. And I loved everyone's costume design. I thought everyone's costume design was really cute and cool. And Tori, the Wednesday Addams look, I was living in that moment. I was vibing that because I would totally rock that look. So yes to you.
Yeah, I wanted to push her out of her comfort zone by wearing a dress because she hates dresses. But
I couldn't help
Wednesday
it.
Addams is still her.
I couldn't help it. I love the, oh my gosh, Frankie has clothes on.
Yes, he's fully clothed.
He's fully
Yes,
clothed.
I wanted that from the moment like we were thinking of like who's getting in and blah 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 and who would I want to play with. I was like, I want to role play because we role played in the audition one, right?
Mhm.
And I was imagining like, oh my gosh, Frankie would be in this 3-piece suit with tie and hat and everything. And yeah, ironically enough, he's all clothed, covered up.
I know.
I love it.
Because I'm thinking when we go to Black Powder's like world, he's gonna be like bare chested
Yep,
with the
piratey.
with a piratey, yeah.
Yeah, if
Yep.
everybody goes
Very
pirate, it's gonna be
hairy.
great.
Right?
Very hairy bare chest.
This
yeah.
was the world that he could be covered up in a suit again because he's used to being in a suit, right?
yeah.
Being exposed is weird for him, so this was like
Yeah.
comfort.
When we do the crossover with Dragon Age, he's gonna be like the barbarian. So he's again, he's gonna
It's gonna be Iron Bull.
he's the Iron Bull. Yes. he's the
Right?
Iron-
Oh my god!
Yeah, the
he's
Iron
already
Bull.
he's already done it.
Yes, he's
kind
already
of.
done that.
He's already-
If Stars World and Dragon Age by any chance happen to mush together, we get the Iron Bull.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is. I love it. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
appreciating all of the depth of Sam.
Mhm.
Like the more and more that
Yes.
Frankie's hanging out with
I
Sam,
love-
he's like kicking at Sam like, wait a minute. Oh, you don't really
Yeah.
trust us. You have trust issues. Oh, wait a minute. Like he's jotting this down. Like,
I
Ooh.
love the fact that there's a bit of conflict between Sam and the
Yes.
group. I love it
I love
because it's
that.
not like, it's just, we need to figure
Yeah.
shit out.
I agree. I love that Joe is committing to it because I would have felt disappointed if Sam, before you entered here, were like, "Oh, okay, guys, that's you're right. I trust you now." Like I thought that I would have been disappointed. I was like, "No, I kind of want this to keep going."
Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
he's sticking to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
I think one of the biggest things with the whole dynamic is when Sam first started, he really stayed back
Mhm.
to observe everybody else. So he initially had a lot of, like opinions starting to form, but then seeing the differences on everybody through, yeah, he's got his own ideas going and everything.
So I actually hid something in this session for Hark to pick up on, and I don't think he did. I don't know if I should reveal it. It's a minor.
I mean,
It's a minor secret. It was just that the kanji on Lonix mug says something.
okay.
It says super fast coffee. And if you were to empty him out, there's another kanji on the inside that says Nintendo Brewing Company.
Nintendo Brewing Company.
okay.
I need that in my life.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So Sue could have picked up really fast on what Lonix's ability was,
Mhm.
Oh
Super
man.
fast coffee.
but nobody else could have.
Micah, thanks for doing the Jessica Rabbit number.
Yes.
Oh, that was wonderful.
I
Thank you.
love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing it in Sam's World, but I didn't know when. And I was like, oh, since we're already doing monologuing and it's stars over the top, so why the hell not? And then have Star lie on Sam's desk and then have a drink. So
Yep.
that was fun. That was fun.
That was so good.
All I could think it was like, thank goodness the secretary didn't walk in. She'd be very confused.
Sam,
my
sweetheart, you got something you need to tell us?
Right? Oh, I can't wait to meet Betty. Star is just
man.
itching itching to meet
Mhm.
Betty.
I think for Star to be able to get up and perform and get the job was a super important thing too. So I was glad to see the dice didn't
Yeah.
didn't throw that one under the bus, because I think that's
Right.
I think one, it's something that Star would be very into. Just being able to have that tie-in.
Mhm.
And then I also think it's another opportunity for the group. So that was really exciting.
Yay!
So I did look up some stuff for while I was off screen one of the times that I wanted to look up and see how Lonnick's jump skill worked, because I haven't had to really know. And the way it works is that he actually makes attacks with his jump without rolling.
Okay.
And he can make one super jump without rolling. If he does a double jump, I have to roll for the second jump.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's fine. Good to know for
Also,
the
I'm
future.
sure that if there was like a moving object, like he was jumping from a train to another train or something, then that would require a roll.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely getting used to the GURPS again.
Right.
I know. Yeah, hopping back into it was like, oh, how do you use this again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
Crash course.
figuring it out for the first
And
time.
then
really.
also your first roll was amazing.
Between you
Yeah,
and
crit
Micah
success.
for first rolls, come on.
Just
Perfect.
Beginner's luck, as they say.
Mhm.
looking in the barn, just like, all right, make a search check. Okay, I don't think I have that, so I'm just going to make a perception. Then on the last search, I'm like, oh, wait, I have that skill.
No, you're still learning. It's,
Mhm.
It
it's
takes
all
a
good.
bit. GURPS is a bit
It's
much.
all good.
It's
Oh, yeah.
chunky. It's a chunky system.
It really is.
Has everybody used up all their experience?
I've
I
used
have
up
some.
most of
I
mine.
did,
I have
yes.
some left over.
I have 3 left
I have
can
quite a
tell
few.
you how
after I
much
bought my
left.
last skill.
I have quite a few saved. Yeah.
I have 4 unspent.
Also, I want to say, anyone who lives in Jersey, I love people who live in Jersey. So
Oh.
just so you know, I love people.
Sadly,
Some of my
I
best friends are from Jersey. So.
I just thought of Hamilton, and it's like the duel's in New Jersey. Everything's legal in New
Everything's
Jersey.
legal in New Jersey. Mhm.
Oh man.
I was thinking like Callista's ear must be ringing with the whole cricket thing. We were like, what is cricket? I was like, oh my god. You know who's
Yeah.
who knows
So-
like probably like
immediately
pulling
felt
their hair
bad
out right
for
now.
suggesting
Yeah.
it.
I
You don't
know-
know cricket.
Oh,
I know,
Melissa,
like,
we love you and
I
we're
know
sorry.
a little bit about it. Like, it's like 2-base baseball, where in order to get on base, you have to throw the ball at the ground and have it bounce up and knock something off the pole.
Yeah, like, I'm not entirely sure how cricket works. No, when I was suggesting it, it was either going to be cricket or rugby, and I thought rugby's too violent.
Yeah.
So-
And I was like, how do I break down cricket without insulting the sport? I was like, it's basically baseball, but 2 bases, and that's it. Like that's in my mind the quickest way to describe it for Americans.
and it has a flat bat.
Yeah, it's a flat
Mhm.
bat.
Flat bat. Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, Callista does not care at all about sports.
Hey, that's
There you
Well,
go.
there we go.
Oh
I'm
my
curious. Does anyone have a prediction as to who the murderer is? Who is behind the murders? Does anyone?
yeah.
Okay, but you don't want to reveal it.
No, I said I think it's Stanley.
You think it's Stanley? Okay.
Yeah, I think he might be jealous of his buddy's success and
Mhm.
trying to frame him.
Anyone else have other thoughts?
If it's not,
I don't have any conclusions yet. No.
No conclusions yet. Okay.
Mm-mm. But I have like some theories. One I don't want to share.
Sure.
I have a wingnut theory.
Uh huh.
It's Mr. Horse.
Mr. Horse. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Eclipse.
Oh my gosh. Talk about a
Yes.
cameo. Like
Yeah.
this is the perfect
Yeah.
time for a cameo. My
Yeah.
goodness.
If we bring the other horse to life, we got to bring Eclipse in to voice it.
Right. Oh my god, could you imagine? Could
That
you
would be so
imagine?
funny.
Joe, do you have any thoughts, or would you rather not share right now?
I want to
What do
hear
you think?
Micah first.
Oh, yes. I said if it's not the detective, then it is it's not the detective. And I don't think it's either one of the guys. I don't think it's Snake or Stanley, but I could be wrong. I think if it's not one of them, then it's the other guy, the reporter. The reporter could
Haskell.
be. Yep, Haskell. Thank you. So it might be those.
I'm
two.
sorry. The detective is Haskell. The reporter is Eddie Sullivan.
Yeah.
Eddie Sullivan. You think it's the reporter? Okay.
Yes.
I'm kind of with Micah. I'm thinking
Okay.
it's some, in my mind, again, just it's somebody who wants attention, someone who wants to succeed in like, hey, oh, here's a murderer, blah blah blah. So it's either someone wants to take credit for discovering it, like the detective,
like,
or the reporter for a news,
for a good story.
Exactly. So that is my guess.
That's a good one too. All right, go ahead, Joe. Do you want to reveal what you're thinking what your thoughts are so far?
Well, so I've got. I mean, there are three things that keep like coming up to the forefront in my mind. First one is, and today a lot more like came up to it.
Oh, it's just a vlog. It's usually
Belinda is kind of still being a central figure. So is it the commissioner who's mad that he lost Belinda to, someone who's cheating at horses, possibly stealing his money and woman? So that was one. Then there was also the thought of, is it someone who is looking for attention and creating a story? And then the third one I want to keep under thumb right now.
So the one thing that I did pick up on was in like the rules reading for Sam's World was that it had to be someone who was introduced to us early on.
True.
That helps me eliminate a lot of things. Like it's not someone we haven't met yet, most likely.
True.
And everyone's a suspect.
Everyone is.
Everyone's
That's kind of a clue into who I think it is, but that's all I'll say.
Just watch plot twist. Sam's the killer.
I would actually not be surprised not all that surprised if that was the case.
Trying to get this for his PI program.
Right.
It's the secretary.
Right.
And it's different than, let's say, a murder crime of an individual.
Right.
It's serial.
Yeah.
So
they have a modus operandi.
Yeah, and usually serial killers want to be found out too. Like some part of their psyche is like, I want people to know. That's why the calling card thing is there. So
does anyone have thoughts on what the calling card means?
Night. Chess club.
Yeah, the chess club and the horses. So I do think in some way it definitely relates back to the rattlesnake. In some way, shape, or form. I just don't know how.
He might be a
chess club.
Like he might be a target.
Either the target or he's the one who's they're trying to make him take the fall for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the farm had connections to him. The taxidermist had connections to him.
Yep.
But I don't think it's him because he's like too obviously the culprit. It's too obvious. So
I have a legitimate question. What color were the two knights?
Yeah, good question. They were both black.
Okay, that shoots my theory into the river because I was thinking maybe it was the killer's way of saying who he thought was a good or a bad person, Black Knight and White Knight.
Yeah, they appear to be identical Black Knight pieces. They appear to be.
Trying to remember, how did the first victim die? Like, how was he killed? Was it stabbing or garroting?
They found him essentially buried alive. He was essentially buried alive.
Buried alive and burned alive so far.
The other one was burned to death. So that is a good point. Does anyone think that there's some sort of thematic connection pattern to the
elements thing?
Ways they died, because they died in completely different ways.
Because like both are really violent and painful ways to die.
Mm-hmm.
So if you keep going with the elements, then if you keep going with the elemental deaths, then the next one might turn up as a drowning victim.
Yeah.
And then someone else being pushed out of an airplane.
Or suffocated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there's some, because all I can think is because of how violent those deaths are, there's got to be some sort of personal stake in there for it, like anger or vengeance or something.
Oh, they're definitely getting.
Because it's not like a
alcohol
crime
somewhere.
of passion. This kind of
No.
thing seems very planned out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I watched too much CSI.
I was never into that kind of thing, but while I was in England, Callista loves true crime and such.
I love true.
So I was exposed to a lot of that over those 3 weeks, and I'm still kind of coming down off of that. So my brain is like, what if it could be this?
Because, like, the thing I'm wondering, because the barn was on fire, the field was on fire, and the guy was burned. Right? But the house wasn't touched.
The house wasn't touched. The only things that burned were the crops and the guy, yes.
So I'm wondering if the guy himself was specifically set on fire, and then he, like, ran to the barn trying to get away, and then ran into the field, and that's how that caught fire.
Well, the house wasn't burned, but the house was a mess.
Yeah. So I wonder if something was taken, maybe?
Or there was a fight there that ended up in the barn, on the fields. So we just...
Or it could have started in the field.
True.
And they went to the house, and that's kind of where, and then they tried to cover up their evidence by trying to burn the body in the field. Kind of, does that make sense?
Yeah. Because, like, I'm wondering if maybe the actual person died some way different than being burned, and then was set on fire to hide the cause of death.
We'll send Tori into the forensics lab.
I am still very curious about what happens if you put the googly eyes on a corpse.
That's a really good idea.
That's what I'm about.
In this form, Melanic is kind of an object. I wonder what would happen there.
Well, you're sentient.
Yeah, you're sentient, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think two kinds of sentience would work well.
No.
Yeah, for the second chess piece, though, that one will be really interesting. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. I was curious too, like when we put the googly eyes on the knight, if it was going to be helpful at all, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a nice like interaction.
Yeah. No, the knight has been giving a lot of clues.
Yeah.
A lot of great clues. Some that you might not realize is a clue. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, like the knight could see through us.
Sure.
Like it knew who we were, like without.
It could like sense death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sensed stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
It could see through Lonic, but then again, pretty much anybody can see through Lonic.
It was like it could sense the history of it. Like it sensed the history of black powder and death.
Mm-hmm.
It was very specific.
Death followed you.
And
like I feel
he
like
didn't say anything right about Star or about Sam, right? Okay.
Correct.
Mm-mm.
Correct.
He said Frankie was made of death.
Frankie was made of death.
Has died many times. You are dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being fallen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like I almost feel like we need to keep that horse around, because if it goes near the
Suspect.
guilty party, I wonder if it'll pick it up.
It'd be like a flashlight.
Yeah.
Oh, like a murder detector.
Wonder
Murder
Woman's
detective.
lasso,
Yeah.
except in the form of an insidious chess piece.
Yeah, so like I wonder if we might want to keep that horse around in particular.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least
But I
we're
do
talking
also
to
want to
them.
see what the other one says.
Oh, 100%.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Depends on how many days we stay in Sam's Road.
Right.
Exactly. Oh my God. I'm loving this mystery. See, these are some of my favorite books, like detective noir, you know? I love it. I love it so much.
It's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
I am bad at solving mysteries and playing a character who is worse at solving mysteries. So
Yeah, but it's good because
No,
it's
it's
not
good.
like overly in your face. This is who the killer is and everything. So for that, it's great. I mean, really matches up with the genre.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to give you some back behind the curtain stuff. So the mystery itself, I had a lot of collaborative help from Shay because he loves this kind of stuff.
Makes sense.
And so during our break, if you remember, I actually visited Shay in Canada, and we spent a couple of hours just hashing out like the finals of the details of this mystery. And so hopefully, you will continue to enjoy it. So, and if you don't, I blame Shay.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Feel good.
I will say I feel a little bit bad that we because with Adam being finally with the group, we did not go to the world he wanted to go. I feel a little bad about that. But also
It was more Lonix, just
Lonix
Lonix choice.
I was fine with any of the remaining
Yeah.
worlds or any of the other worlds.
I think it made sense that we go to Sam's though.
For sure.
Narratively, it made sense.
And I hope you guys figured out why Lonix didn't want to go to Sam's
Oh
world.
yeah.
He's like, mysterious masked assailants dropping from the ceiling. That sounds like ninjas. Ninjas with pockets, so they probably have throwing stars. Those do a lot of damage. They don't.